From Las Vegas, Nevada, the Las Vegas Strip studio, it's Bettor Center Live. I'm your host, Brad Stein. You can listen and watch 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time during the week. On the weekends, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, all done by Louis Diamond. And you can watch the show on louisdiamond.com. Also, check out YouTube at Louis Diamond. We have 4 handicappers today, all professional, all smart, here to give some advice and to help make us a little bit of money. We have Louis Diamond, we have Chip Chirimbus, of course, Ross Benjamin and Tony Gulledge. We're going to introduce them in just a second, but coming up on today's show, we have NFL, college football, and some NFL, and of course, the most interesting play of the day. The Yanks, the Rays, the Astros move on, and the Lakers take game number 1. There's your headlines. Let's welcome those gentlemen right now to the show. All 4 of them.
There you go.
I was just about to highlight.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
How's that?
What a grand entrance that was. As I'm just introducing all you guys, I wanted to highlight one very special handicapper to the show, Chip Chirimbus, who's just been on a hot streak. He's been on a tear. I wanted you to elaborate and tell all the viewers about your hot streak, Chip.
Well, thank you very much, Brad. Thank you very much, Brad. Swept the board in Major League Baseball yesterday, 3-0, and of course, that brings us to 6-1 in the Major League Baseball playoffs. And we also had a big winner in basketball last night with the Lakers. So it's our time of the year. It's the postseason. Big games or big money are on the line, and the big game player is ready for you. So I have 3 more out there today, highlighted by another best bet. 11-2 in my last 11 Megabuck best bet winners in Major League Baseball.
All right, you're not getting off that early. What did you learn yesterday?
Aha. Well, I learned not to mess around with the Yankees, or that the Minnesota Twins are an absolute joke when it comes to the postseason with 17 consecutive losses. That is just absolutely amazing, because this team, even at home, can't win, whether they're playing the Yankees or anyone else, obviously. So now you have a Houston who finally made it to 500 after entering 2 games under the breakwater mark. And it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just shocked that Minnesota wasn't able to win. I did play against them, but not to come up with 1 win in 17 consecutive playoff games, that's unbelievable. And I've also learned that you don't play against the White Sox when you have a left-hander going. Thank you very much, Ross Benjamin.
Batting second, Louis Diamond. What did you learn? And, of course, tell us a little bit more about Bettor Center.
Well, I guess I learned that even though I knew going in that Minnesota couldn't win a playoff game, I refused to bet against them. So I kind of took the day off on that. I also learned that I guess I could fall asleep in a pretty exciting 9th inning. Other than that, a little bit about Bettor Center. Like I said yesterday, we're going to try to change the life for the better, make you guys a smarter bettor. This isn't all about free picks, guys. It's about teaching you the nuances of gambling. And I look forward to getting that out there, helping you guys along.
That brings us to Ross Benjamin. What did you learn yesterday? I'm very excited for this.
I'm glad you're excited, Brad. That makes me excited. The New York Yankees, I know it sounds a little bit biased, but from an objective standpoint, I was really impressed with the fact that they were up against probably one of the top 2 or 3 pitching staffs in all of baseball, combined starting rotation and relievers, and they were able to score 22 runs in 2 games against those Cleveland Indians. So I think they're going to be dangerous going forward. I know they have to take on the number 1 Tampa Bay Rays in the next series. I know that Tampa Bay dominated them in the regular season, but I think you can see, guys, that it's 2 different entities, regular season and the postseason. All you have to look at is game 1 of the Yankee series, where you had a guy like Garrett Cole, who's been in these big games before, against a guy like Shane Bieber, who looks like he's going to win the Cy Young Award in the American League. And you saw that experience pays off. Cole pitched a gem, and Bieber really struggled. So that's what I took away from yesterday, Brad.
Yep, the Biebs didn't show up. Now, batting cleanup, Tony, all the pressure's on you. Hit us home.
Yeah, well, I learned that they don't play the fundamental style of baseball anymore. I think that analytics and just aggressive hitting, power hitting has changed the game. You look at the Braves Reds yesterday. How many runners do you have to put on base? I mean, I would probably try a squeeze, but I would try anything at some point during that game to get a run across. Neither team seemed willing to bunt the runners over. I mean, it's like they're always trying to score multiple runs in an inning when you're in extra innings and nobody has scored. I mean, it would seem the objective would be to score one run. The Yankees are dangerous. I think getting past Cleveland the way they did, Ross noted the pitching staff of Cleveland. I didn't think the Yankees would be able to do what they did. Surprise would be a strong word, but definitely I'm enlightened by seeing that. I think the Yankees are going to be strong moving forward. Houston winning without the aid of banging trash cans, but they beat a Twins team. The thing with the Twins this time and these two losses that they were heavily favored to win, where some of those other long string of losses, they weren't expected to win. They were expected to win these games, and they shit the bed. So that's basically what I learned yesterday.
That's a lot of stuff, Tony, but I didn't expect anything less. We head to game number 1, the National Football League, Thursday night football, the Broncos and the Jets. This game opened up, Jets plus 2.5. I mean, what a hell of a game. We are getting a real treat here. The Broncos and the stinking Jets. It is currently at -1. Look at that spread move. And 41 is still the over-under. Ross, what are your thoughts?
The game stinks. 2-0-3 teams. Denver's on their third quarterback, and it's only game 4 of the season. Brett Ripien will get the start tonight. It'll be his first ever NFL start. He's the former quarterback of Boise State. The Jets, they're depleted at the wide receiver position. If they do anything well, it's stop the run, albeit last week they got torched by the run. Just a terrible game. Again, guys, I look at this situation, and I've mentioned this several times over the course of the last few weeks. If you took a game like this and you put it on the Sunday NFL board, would you really play on this?
No.
We have a propensity as handicappers to have some action because it's a one-game situation. This is one I'm just going to stay away from, guys. I'm going to defer to my other experts here on the panel and see what they have to say, Brad.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Chip, does this game stink so bad that maybe the over or the under's the play here or something?
I'll tell you how bad it is. In New York City, they've banned all kinds of travel, and they've banned the attendance at any professional sporting events. Well, the Jets and the Giants are so bad that the mayor has decreed that neither of those players are allowed to enter the stadium. and they haven't entered the stadium once yet in 3 years. So I actually think that this line moving to the Jets being favored is a cause because of Ripien getting his first NFL start. And you can be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the world. The speed is just not the same. And Boise State didn't exactly play the best competition when he was in college as well. I'm going to go against the first-time starter in the NFL. We've seen Elway go 1-15, Aikman go 1-12. These guys, in their first time out, I'm not going to say they're shell-shocked. We had a great job out of the Cincinnati quarterback Burrow in his first start. But, he was something special, and he's a little bit older than most other starting quarterbacks. I'm going to take the Jets here, who moved from a 2.5, 3-point underdog to the favorite. Are you kidding? Jets, Jets.
Stink. I'm reading your face right now, Tony Gulledge, and I smell opportunity on you. You like this game, don't you?
Well, it's an awful football game. This is what the dumpster fire game of the week. They put it on Thursday night. Fangio and Gase. I'm thinking of like a law firm as opposed to NFL coaches. These guys are pretty much bottom pit coaches, bottom pit teams. With that said, I'm going to clarify something here. You're saying Ripien. I believe it's Rippin. If this is and I'm paying homage
he's going to be torn apart anyway.
1991 Washington Redskins saved my ass in the NFC Championship game against the Detroit Lions, quarterbacked by Rodney Peete. And Mark Rippon threw for like 350 yards. So I'm gonna correct that and give homage to him and his son, Brett Rippon. But I agree, any quarterback in the NFL making their first start, asking them to win. Yeah, asking him
Thank
to
you.
win is
Now, nephew, Tony, when you're going to correct him, you got to get it right
Yes,
all the way. Nephew.
Thank you, Chip. It is his nephew. He probably wishes it was his son.
Keeping
With that said,
everybody
I
in
like
check.
the Jets here. I do like the Jets. I think asking a quarterback to win in his first start, even these other guys we've mentioned, Burrow, these other guys that played well in their first start, did not win. These are losses. Cam Newton. You can go through the list of guys that played great in their first NFL start, but still lost. This is basically a pick 'em. The line is moving toward the Jets. Darnold cannot play any worse. I'm a Sam Darnold hater as much as anybody. But if you watch that last performance, 3 picks, 2 ran back for touchdowns. I mean, he literally gave the other team the game. It's like not only is he not helping his team, he's making it easier for the other team. He was awful. I like him to play a little better tonight. I think the Jets get the win at home.
Okay, Louis, bag of diamonds.
Now, I'm looking at this completely different than a lot of you, or all 3 of you right now. You got a team, the Denver Broncos, who really have no pressure. They got injuries. They're on their 3rd string quarterback. They're 0-3. They're traveling east. They're kind of, maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose. They don't have the pressure that the New York Jets have. You got Darnold, who has all the pressure of Joe Flacco coming right up on him. He's got that. He's got Adam Gase with the pressure of he needs to win and get his job and keep his job. But they do have a little history of starting out weak and then getting a little bit stronger. So he's got that going for him. But I think the Jets got all the pressure tonight. I think if you're betting the game, now the game may suck, but you got to bet the game. Let's just face it, guys. If you're sitting there, you're betting the game. So if you're betting the game, I think Denver's got the way to go. But the real play is a teaser here, guys. It's pretty obvious. Both teams suck. Both teams can't score. You got 2 quarterbacks that have yet to put more than 220 yards in a game, to pass for more than 220 yards in a game. So obviously the under's the look, but the teaser's the way to roll here. I'd say you could tease it just about any way you want to tease it today.
Someone's phone's ringing. It might be Adam Gase or Sam Darnold saying, "Leave me the hell alone." We move on to
I got it. That's me in the background. My bad.
That's okay. Major League Baseball playoffs. The Miami Marlins, Chicago Cubs, Sanchez and Darvish is on the mounds. This game started minus 181. Now it's minus 202. The 7 is the over-under. Chip.
Yeah.
What do you like? What do you like?
Well, I think the Cubs are the side here, particularly because of Hugh Darvish. He's had an absolutely fabulous season, 8-3 on the year, and been virtually unhittable. But laying this price at 2-1 is something that I don't do. I don't like laying the run lines because a 3-2 win is a win for them, but a loss for me. I would play against the Marlins if I had to. If I have to take the Cubs in a must-win situation, but it's not particularly because it's the Cubs. It's because of Darvish, and that's the only way I go. But I wouldn't play this game personally.
Ross.
Yeah.
The other half of the tandem. Yeah.
I wouldn't lay 2-1 either. And if anything, I would probably entertain the run line if I could, if I want to, if I'm going to play this game. You look at Darvish, Chip just alluded to it. He's the odds-on favorite to win the National League Cy Young Award. Sixto Sanchez, about a week and a half ago, I would have said, maybe we should give this game a look as an underdog. But I think he's got a bright future. He took Major League Baseball by storm when he got called up from their taxi squad, and he was terrific in his first 5 or 6 starts. But if you look at his last 2, Brad, he's really struggled mightily. This looks like a starting pitching mismatch. The Cubs' backs are against the wall. The Marlins have no pressure on them right now. They've won 1 more game in this series than a lot of people thought they would. I think, if anything, I would lean toward using the Cubs on the run line here.
All right, thank you.
Can I add one more thing? Can I add one more
Of
thing,
course
Brad?
you can.
Um,
Of course you can.
Okay, the starting pitcher for the Marlins, who had a great start, 1.76 ERA in his first 5 innings of all the games he's worked, and 11.7 ERA in innings 6 and 7. So it depends on how long he's going to be out there, and you might as well lay the run line with our Darvish on the mound.
Louis Bag of Diamonds, what are your thoughts? Major League Baseball playoffs.
Well, when the wind is blowing at Wrigley, it usually it's the rules the roost. And yesterday, the wind was blowing the same way, left to right, 20-mile-an-hour winds, kept the game under. They had a high number yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to talk about that yesterday. But today, now you have still 13-mile-an-hour winds blowing the same way, left to right. Going to keep the ball in. I think the under's still to play here. But you definitely missed out by having 8.5 yesterday, and they steamed it over because there was just a little touch of wind that was maybe looking, instead of left to right, a little left to center, but it was still blowing in, and that's critical in at Wrigley. So that being said, I got to see a little lean on the under, but the 7 is a tough number, but I still say the under still to play.
Tony.
Yeah, this is definitely a Cubs run line play for me. Just give a quick handicapping tip here on the run lines. What you should look at is based on their overall wins. You look at a team one-run games. Don't worry about their total number of one-run games. Look at their total number of one-run wins as a proportion of their total wins. This game is an example. You got the Cubs here at -200, or you can take them to win by more than 1 run at +105. You're getting more than a 100% increase on your reward for the risk. All right, so you take their 1-run wins, divide it by. You'll clearly see it's the only way to play this game. I can't lay 2-1. I don't think anybody else here can play 2-1. So you look for a way to play this game and increase your value. I'm a real big stickler about risk to reward for the gambling Buckeye bet. And for me to play this game, you got to take the Cubs run line. And I like this Sixto kid. I think his future is bright, but I think right now it's a lot to ask for him to step into this and get more than 3 or 4 innings. If they play it smart, they would let him go through the rotation maybe twice and then pull him and not because I think Chip brought it up. Once he sees the rotation, the lineup the 3rd time, he starts getting crushed. So that's for me. Cubs run line is the play today.
All right, guys, thank you for watching Bettor Center Live on LouisDiamond.com. Also, YouTube at Louis Diamond. We move to game number 3. We're still in Major League Baseball playoffs. St. Louis at the San Diego Padres. We have Davies and Adam Wainwright. That's your boy on the line, on the mound. This game opened up San Diego -168, currently -155, over under 8.5. Now it is at 9. Louis Diamond, anything interesting in this game?
Well, the under has prevailed, 10-4-1 the last 15 minutes, but it did go over yesterday. But I think the pitching matchup leaned more towards the over yesterday. Padres, though, they got some bats right now, so it's hard to bet them on the under. So I think it's a little bit of a tougher play here today. And, and I guess if the Cardinals are going to get a win, they're going to need Wainwright to grab it for them, obviously right here. So I don't see much in this. If anything, I would lean on the over, but Wainwright has been a little bit to the under. Davies, 5 straight unders, but Padre bats, I think, will probably prevail. So I'm worried about an over or an under here.
You should be. Right, Ross? Agree? Disagree, Mr. Ross?
I agree that he should be worried. I think that this game, to me, leans toward the under. I'm looking at this pitching matchup. Adam Wainwright has been a revelation this year. He no longer has the pop on his fastball that he used to have, but he certainly had a terrific year if you look at his overall numbers. And again, I go back to this, guys. It goes to the Garrett Cole situation that I talked about earlier. A starting pitcher, maybe not nowhere near in a class at this juncture of his career, Wainwright and Cole, but by the same token, a vast amount of playoff experience, postseason experience to be specific. And Zach Davies, This guy has flown under the radar this year. He's been consistent. Louis mentioned his propensity to go under in his last 5 starts. And that correlates with the numbers he's had. So if this line was somewhere in 7.5 or 8 range, I would agree with Louis, but it's up to 9 now. And, I realize the pop San Diego has in their bats, but I just think these starting pitchers will be able to go 6 innings apiece and keep the score down low. And, I think my lean here is going to be toward the under in this contest, Brad.
Ross, can you show us that cup, that nice blue tea cup you have there?
Yeah, it's turquoise. It's the color of money.
Hey!
Here we go.
That's it, baby. Love and wisdom, brother.
There you go.
All right, Chipster. It's all you.
Well, I'm already 2 for 2 with the tenor. We're in agreement, Tony and I, this show, and I happen to think St. Louis with Wainwright is going to get the money. He had 2 outstanding postseason performances last year, and I just think that San Diego, first time around, plus the fact I believe the Cardinals have now beaten San Diego 10 of the 11 playoff games that they have played, and San Diego just doesn't perform that well in the postseason. Davies has been great. He's coming over from Milwaukee. He's really helped them out, of course, the Padres. But it's just a matter, the public, I guess you said there's been a move on St. Louis already, and I hate to be with them, but I do have the Cardinals today.
Tony.
I think they heard you were on it, Chip.
Wow. This is a good pitching matchup. I like Wainwright has the experience. The part about taking San Diego is tricky to me, asking these guys to step in here and perform in the winner take out. They have to win or they're done. San Diego. It's a lot of pressure on Davies. I don't think he's ever really been in a position quite like this. The price is there for Wainwright, but he puts a lot of guys on base, man. These last few starts, he gives up a lot of hits. And in this kind of situation, all it takes is put a couple guys on, 1 pitch, 3-run home run, and you're in a deep hole. Kind of a scary game for me. I passed this game. My lean is on St. Louis, though. I just couldn't pull the trigger against San Diego in a game they must win with all the things that have gone right for them at home this year. It's tough for me to imagine, like the Twins, but the Twins did it. Yeah, it was hard for me to imagine the Twins were going to just shit, bam, bam. But, I'm going to pass here. But I agree with Chip that the price seems right to take Wainwright, a seasoned veteran pitcher with playoff experience.
Totally get it, Tony. We move to game 3.5. Only here on Bettor Center Live on LouisDiamond.com, also YouTube at Louis Diamond. Do we have a game 3.5? But we do. We're still in Major League Baseball playoffs. It's the Chicago White Sox at the Oakland A's. Opened up at plus 115, Chicago White Sox. Now it's minus 108. Look at that line. 8 was the over-under. Now it's 8.5. Let's start right with you, Tony. Continue.
I wish I had saw this matchup earlier. I was waiting to see who they were actually going to start. I believe Dunning was pretty much the only option left for the White Sox. Oakland had plenty of options. I think they had 3 different guys they could have started. But I think he made the right decision here with the Oakland A's home record and Mike Fear starts. They're like 19-5. You're getting this at basically even money, winner take all, rubber match. I just like the way they hit for Fears. I think it's a great spot to take Oakland and a great price with good mathematics backing up the play. Take Oakland here.
Agree, disagree, anything to add? Chip Chirimbus, not Chris Chambliss.
Yeah, well, Tony and I guess are in sync today because I happen to think that Oakland's the side because they're throwing a right-hander. If they had thrown the lefty out there, I would have definitely been on the White Sox. Russ has given us that 15-0 White Sox record against starting left-handers. One last thing, that Wainwright threw the most incredible playoff pitch we ever seen when we saw him freeze Carlos Beltran for the final strike of the World Series, or for the playoffs, that is, when they beat the Mets. But getting back to this game, I'm going to have to take Oakland. Their record at home has been outrageous. Their pitcher has been outrageous at home. And Dunning is in an unusual spot at 2-0 for a young kid in the playoffs. I'm going to take Oakland at home.
Private Benjamin, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm looking at this starting pitching matchup right now. Unless you guys got explicit information, I don't. I'm seeing undecided on both ends, which I think is very unusual.
They just put it out, Ross. It's
Yeah,
Dunning
Dunning and yeah.
Fears. Okay.
Fires.
Fears, whatever,
That's Fires, not my bad.
Yeah, this is a tough game to me. You know what I mean? Deciding game. We should be making a play in this game. I think, again, to touch upon what Chip said, I think that Oakland's getting a break here, or I'm sorry, Chicago is not getting a break here by Manaea not starting this game because of the record against left-handed pitchers. When I saw the early release last night, he was scheduled to pitch, and I was ready to pull a plug right there on the Chicago White Sox. I don't know. Tough call. Because Tony and Chip took Oakland, I'm going to make it interesting and take the other side. So I'll take the White Sox in this game. I'm probably not going to use the game, guys, but no disrespect to you.
Don't worry, I got your back, guys.
I was just going to say that, Louis.
That's it.
Let me just
We're done.
I was just going to say, Louis D, you must have his back. Go ahead.
Let me just add real quick.
Yeah. I'm jumping on the Chip and Tony train here.
Leave me on an island.
Go ahead,
Tony.
Sorry. I just wanted to say that Oakland's home record in Mike Fiers starts is 19-5. That's the number. 19-5 when he started at home.
Not only that, so I'll add to that right now. The White Sox 24-52 in Oakland over the last 76 outings. 5-16 against Oakland the last 21 outings. I think people are jumping on the White Sox because they were on their train early and they're afraid that the train is coming to a stop. So I think that's kind of the move. Well, not only that, White Sox got better pitching today. I'm going to say that. As far as win losses and they're both pitching well, but I think the Fiers gives up more hits, more runs. So I believe that better pitching for the White Sox, but Oakland at home in the rubber game. I've been riding Oakland at home for the past few years, so I back them today.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. And it's not to be argumentative. It's just to bring some light to the listeners and viewers. Louis, you make a good point about Oakland's dominance against the White Sox over the years. This is a very young White Sox team. Okay. Sure. A lot of these players were not there when Oakland dominated them. Okay. And I think this is a whole different White Sox team, and that has to be accounted for. So
so let's account for it. They're a young team going in against a team that knows that they have a history of dominating this certain team, and now they have a young team and they have to knock them out. I'm still taking the home team in that scenario. It's a young team.
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying. Sometimes you don't want to look at the history. Well, look at Minnesota's history in the playoffs. I didn't want to look at that either, but if I did and I paid attention to it, I'd be 2-0 with dogs.
The difference is, and again, I'm just trying to bring light to this, is Minnesota's core group of players were there throughout that 17-game losing streak in the postseason. The White Sox are 1-1 against Oakland this year. They haven't faced them. My point being, sometimes you can get too caught up with, the numbers you gave away.
I don't disagree with that at all.
The numbers that you gave me go back probably 7 to 8 years. So I like to look at more recent stuff. Oakland is, to your defense, 7-1 at home against the White Sox since 2018. Again, this is a maturing team. It's a whole different scenario. Louis, I'm not trying to or disagree or say that you guys are on the wrong side. Matter of fact, I probably won't use the game. My point is, don't get too caught up in team. You got to really take a look at team trends, and they got to make sense, okay? Like you said with Minnesota, 0-17, that makes a lot of sense because you're probably looking at 75% of that roster, their active roster going into this postseason, had endured that type of losing.
How much has Oakland changed over the last 3 years?
No, they haven't changed much, but they lost Matt Chapman. Okay. That's a huge loss, okay? So we'll see.
So I get what you're saying. We do have a new White Sox team, but I'm saying, like you said, they're a younger team. They're in a scenario where the better team or the bigger team and the stronger team is in a comfort zone where they feel like their psyche knows that they can beat this team, and they usually do. Now, whether the White Sox don't have that psyche or yet right now, you have valid points there. But now you have a young team in a high-pressured scenario. So I'll still take I'll
Again,
still take a little bit more
experience. Or Chipper or Tony off the side. Just it's just a betting theory that I sometimes it can be over.
No, I'm glad you're bringing it up, because this is more important on the show than giving somebody a pick. The old story goes, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he eats for life. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to teach people how to fish. Gambling didn't come with directions. Neither did money. So at the end of the day, we're both going to have a different path to get there, and that's what the show's about, trying to get all these paths on the right path. And you're absolutely right with what you said.
Excellent points, both of you. Great job. I try to teach my wife that. I try to tell her there's different ways to get to solve a problem. She thinks it's only one way, but we're eventually getting there. But that's what you hear.
Listen, Brad, my goodness, what is the matter with you? There is only one way, Brad.
The ladies' way. I get it.
Yeah, you can't handle
happy life, brother.
I'm still young. I've only been married for a little while, so I'm trying to learn that. But still, I try to tell her, well, you can be a little bit more open. There is two ways to solve an algebraic equation, right? No, there's one way. She says.
Agreed. Yes, it is. The partnership is what makes it work, without a doubt.
That's right.
So,
all right, guys, we're moving to game number 4. National League, we get to talk some National League baseball. This is exciting. The Dodgers, my boy Kershaw's on the mound. Milwaukee at the Dodgers. Opened up Dodgers -220. Now it is -237. 7.5 is the over-under. Tony, is there anything interesting, eye-opening in this game?
Just a little play on the Dodgers run line. I'm not going to take up a bunch of time talking about this. Dodgers, most dominant team, home team. Numbers are actually good for Kershaw. There's been years where his prices have been so high that there's been no value in betting him. Right now, I say if you bet against Dodgers with Kershaw pitching at home, you just want to lose money. That's what you just basically want to give money away if you do that. I can't say it's a big pick, but for sure you got to use Dodgers run line today in some combination with something.
Thank you. That was short and sweet. Holy crud. This is a miracle here on Bettor Center Live. Chip, quickly, talk.
Yeah. No problem here. We know that Kershaw's about 175 and 75 during the regular season. In the postseason career, he's 9-11. This Woodruff can throw the ball, one of the hardest throwers in baseball. I don't have any confidence in the Brewers here, but with this big price and with Kershaw's lifetime playoff record, maybe the Dodgers want to go 3 games in this series. So I'm saying that if I was to play it, if I was going to, and I didn't use this game anywhere, I would take a shot with the Brewers just because of Kershaw's postseason history.
And can I just add something worth noting real quick? When we're talking about baseball pitching, what I just want to throw in that we're like at what would be near the midseason of a regular season. These guys only have 11, 12 starts. And a lot of time for pitchers, some of them take 6, 7, 8 starts to get wound up. So you're seeing a lot of the good pitchers right now are really in mid-season, ready to fire form. And I think that's going to lead to a lot of lower scoring games moving forward. I'm done.
Nice segue for me, Tony. Thank you.
Louis, did you want to go?
Well, it was a nice segue for me because I think the under's a play here today. So, Woodruff has been an under pitcher, and Dodgers, yes, Kershaw has this postseason history. I'm expecting the real Kershaw here tonight just to shut him down. I think you can tie your Dodgers into a parlay, money line parlay. Look for some favorites over the next couple of days in football that you can tie them up with into a little parlay. I would use that. But I think the under is the play. 6 straight unders for Woodruff, and 5 straight in the game 2 of a series, 5 straight versus a team with the winning record. 6 out of the last 7 have gone under. I think under's the play here if you're making a move.
And waiting so patiently is Mr. Ross. Is Kershaw going to get the run support? I think that might be the big question here. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that is a real good question, Brad. I agree with Chip. I mean, you got to consider the fact that Kershaw has been a lion in the regular season throughout his career, and he's been a bit of a lamb in the postseason. However, I think this is a favorable spot for him. Look, this is a Milwaukee team that's underachieved vastly offensively this year. If you look at their numbers offensively this year compared to even the last 2 years, they're night and day. And also a Milwaukee team that scored 3 runs or fewer in each of their last 9 games, and now they're facing Kershaw. So I think I'm going to take that into consideration. Even with his checkered postseason past, I think Kershaw, this sets up for a favorable situation for him. I also think that Woodruff is the kind of guy who can give you 6 solid innings. And, I don't see Milwaukee getting more than 1 or 2 runs here. And even if the Dodgers pop 5 or 6 runs, we might have a chance here. I'm going to have a lean and look for an excuse to use the under 7.5 here, Brad.
Thank you, Ross. We had a lot of football to discuss, but now we are almost out of time. So we're going to go to the most interesting play of the day. And who knows, it might be in football. We're going to start with the Chipster. Most interesting play of the day is who?
Well, I think we are going to go into football, considering the Jets. I opened up this morning and see that they were the favorite. How could the Jets possibly be favored over anybody? But this Denver team is decimated. They're on their 3rd string rookie quarterback. First start ever. We had said that. I think that the Jets, even though this might be the ugliest game of the day, maybe of the season for crying out loud, I think the Jets are the side at home here. Adam Gase under a lot of pressure. New York press wants his head now. He started 0-6 last year, I believe it was, or maybe it was 0-4. They won 6 of the last 8 at the end of the season. But they need this game badly.
Some big games coming up in college football. Louis D., where's your most interesting play going?
Well, today I'm just going to use we're going to talk a lot of football tomorrow, so please join us tomorrow because it's really going to be a football show. We'll get you everything you need to go Football Friday for us. So first and foremost, mark us down on the calendar. Please subscribe so you can get the football picks for the weekend tomorrow morning. Today, I'm going to just roll with a teaser in the NFL. I believe that you can look at either of these 2 teams today and add 6 points and cover the spread. I think the game is probably going to be a 13-10 game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring, tight game with very little offense. So I think you could tease it with the under, make yourself a little money tonight. Either side.
And that brings us to Ross. Most interesting play.
Yeah, I'm going to look at an NFL game here. I gave you college football most interesting play today yesterday on SMU at home as a small underdog against Memphis. We're going to go to the NFL today, and I'll have something more for you tomorrow as well. Seattle at Miami. Who's the better team in this matchup? Unequivocally, Seattle is, right? Miami 1-2, Seattle 3-0. Seattle's covered all 3 games. It's not about who the better team is right now. It's not even about who the better team is at the end of the season. It's not about which team will probably make the playoffs, because you'd have to have your head examined to say Miami has a better chance than Seattle, okay? It's about beating the number today. That's the most important thing. It's about the situation. And we have a Seattle team coming off a 38-31 win against Dallas last week at home in a game that was in the national spotlight in the 4 o'clock window. And now they're going on the road to take on the lowly Dolphins, and they're laying 7. And the Dolphins have covered their last 2 games, albeit they did beat Jacksonville last week. Not exactly a powerhouse, but they beat them decisively, 31-13. The week before, they gave Buffalo all they can handle. They covered that game as a home underdog. Miami, as a matter of fact, since 2018, is 8-1 against the spread as a home underdog of 7 or less. Seattle, again, I've mentioned this time and time again. It's eventually going to bite them in the rear end. This is a team that gives up a lot of yards in the air, okay? And eventually, you just can't expect Russell Wilson to throw an average nearly 5 touchdown passes a game like he's doing now and give up the kind of yards you're giving and continue to not only win but cover as a touchdown favorite on the road. And I think that Seattle will be vulnerable here. I'm not going to call for the outright upset. It wouldn't shock me in the least, but I think Miami keeps this game competitive throughout, and I'm going to take the Dolphins plus the 7 as a home underdog against the Seattle Seahawks.
Isn't that interesting, Ross? Seattle and Dallas was the national game of the week, but here in Las Vegas, for some reason, they played the Denver Broncos, which means I had to drive over my dad's house and watch a Sunday ticket there, and it was miserable because he's so negative. I don't know why they don't play it here in Las Vegas. It was terrible. That brings us to Tony Gulledge, most interesting play of the day.
They got to drive you to the casino, Brad.
Yeah.
Terrible games on local TV makes you go to the casino to bet.
I do. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, that makes – he's so smart. You see, we learn other things beside picking games here. This is strategy. This is all Las Vegas is doing. Very smart. Go ahead, Tony. Take it away.
Thanks, Brad. Quickly mention with the win on the Lakers last night that my services has cashed 6 consecutive winners in the NBA best bet play for the playoffs. NBA best bet winners for the playoffs, 6 straight winners. For your most interesting play today, let's go to the college football game I have on my card. I'm taking Louisiana Tech plus the 24.5. Just showing this to be inflated line. I've got it at about 17. Should be more what the line is. And I think Louisiana Tech traditionally has scored plenty of points on the road. They've done well as a road underdog because they score a lot of points. So I think your value is there. The great situation best play is going to be Louisiana Tech plus 24. Thanks for the Lou, and thanks for the barking dog to throw me off. Back to you.
Yeah, blame it on the dog. Right. Mute Tony. That is it. We're wrapping up this show. But I'll tell you what, I'm a deep thinker, and I never in my mind thought that that's what Las Vegas was doing to us, trying to get us to the casinos, because what it would do to a person like me is bring me to a sports bar or possibly just buy the Sunday ticket. But thank you, everyone, for watching Bettor Center Live, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Of course, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the weekends. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Tony, Dell, who's not here, Ross, Chip, and Louis Diamond, all of the whole team. Have a wonderful day. If you don't play, you don't win. I'm Brad. This is Bettor Center Live. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. We'll catch you next time.